everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I am so excited to be posting on the 3 Girl Jam blog today. I have a fun project. This is a project I've looked forward to doing for quite some time. I actually thought it would already be done and I haven't been able to get it done, so I decided for my design team post today to do this. Now at the end of the video, or sometime during the video, I'm going to ask you a question about this, so stay tuned because I want your opinion. So let me just show you some of the things that I used, and we're going to jump right in. Now this is not a tutorial video. I'm just going to show you what I have already done and tell you how I did it and show you the finished product. So I used quite a few supplies for this one. I used this matte stack Matchmakers 2 from the neutral set from Die Cuts with a View, and this is textured, and that was because I needed a solid sheet to use as a photo mat, and these colors matched my project really well, so that was one of the items that I used. I used 3 different stamp sets for this project. From TPC Studios, I used this stamp set. It's called Elegant Alphabet, and the whole reason I bought this, although I do like the alphabet, so I'll probably use it later as well, but the whole reason I bought this set was for these numbers on the bottom, and this is the perfect size number for the project that I'm making. Then I also used from Close to My Heart. This is one of the Artiste collection birthday stamps. It came with the packet from the Artiste cartridge, and for this one I just used this balloon right inside here, just the balloon part. I didn't use the string, and I'll show you why and show you what I did in just a few minutes. And then from Kendra Designed, I used this heart right here, and again I'll explain that in a minute. I also used my homemade water with Perfect Pearl spray just to add some shimmer, and then I used 3 inks from Close to My Heart. I used the Ruby, I used the Outdoor Denim, and I used the Indian Corn Blue, and again you'll see in a minute. Now for the 3 Girl Jam part, I used the Ice Blue, and you can see this is getting low. I'm really hoping in my stash I have another packet. This is from one of my favorite sets. It's the Ice Blue, and it's from the Hot and Cold set. It comes with this chocolate, it's called Hot Chocolate Nice Blue, but I love both of these colors, and I think this is probably maybe even the second pack I've already gone through since finding 3 Girl Jam a little over a year ago. But I'm about ready to break out the next pack because this color is just so good for projects that I like to do. Now I also used the Place in Time from Graphic 45. I have to tell you, the very first time I saw a project from this packet, I knew that I wanted this packet. It is just a beautiful, beautiful packet, and I knew that I wanted to get it. Now my initial plan was to get the 8x8, but after thinking it over, I decided I was going to make my family calendar with it. So this year's calendar I'm hand making, and I'm using this paper. Let me just show you, whoops, wrong thing. Let me just show you this packet. Now I've already torn quite a few pages out of this, and I'll show those to you in a minute. Now I will warn you about one thing about this packet. This packet only comes with 1 page that's actually a calendar grid. So if you want to use it for a full 12 by 12 inch calendar, you're either going to have to purchase these pages individually like I did, or you also, the back side of that page are these little ones, and so you could do something a little bit different and just have the little calendar if you weren't wanting to use it to keep memories and stuff on. I wanted to use it like a real calendar where my family could write things in on it, and so I opted to go ahead and purchase 12 extra sheets of paper so I could have this page for each sheet, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a minute. I'll also show you not all of them in depth because as the project continues I'll show you those, but I'll also show you what the month pages look like. But then, so besides the month pages, and you do get one for each month, Then you also get this page of double-sided paper for each month that has embellishments. And this is the February page, and it's got just kind of vintagey embellishment and postcards and tags and little postage stamps. This is March, and there are a couple of different border strips in here that say different things in different colors, so you can cut these all apart. And then the back sides, well, I couldn't bear to use the back sides because so far I wanted things on the front, but I'll show you that more. But the back sides are just gorgeous as well. You almost need 2 sets of these. I'll just throw that out there right now. This is the April, the May, which is just reminds you of mothers, and spring. June, a lot about brides and the first day of summer and just all sorts of things like that. July, more Americana colors, and they're vintagey Americana colors, which I love. It's among my favorite. August, talking about just summer and produce and just all sorts of things like that. September, back to school and apples, and you know, you could also throw in some of your the school pack from Graphic 45s would be a perfect match as well. This is October, and you all know I'm not a big Halloween fan. I don't do Halloween. However, this is probably more one that I would use the backside more, because the backside does have, you know, the more fall colors. It says pumpkin time. That's fine with me. So I could use the back sides of these that I wouldn't use, but then there's also some here that have nothing to do with Halloween. So I thought, well, you know what, that's the one page I really don't care for, and there's still plenty there that I can use. November, gorgeous Thanksgiving pages, and then December, sorry, it's caught. December is this fun Christmas, and some have Santa, some don't. Little kids, almost reminds me of the Hummel kids. Every month has a postcard. I believe every month has a strip that says December that you can write on, and every month has these little postage stamps and a couple tags, and then various and sundry. They also have these smaller things, and I'll show you what I did with one of those in a minute. So that's the paper. Now let me show you what I did with mine. I took a solid sheet, of course, of purple cardstock, and this is cardstock from Coordinations, and I did that to the front. This is going to be the front of my calendar. Now, my initial plan was to do the front first and use that to introduce you to the calendar. However, I decided I was going to wait because there's going to be lots of leftover pieces from the embellishment pages, and I'm going to use those kind of on the front of my calendar as well. So I'm going to wait until the calendar is complete. And then on the back, I did this, I just pulled a piece of cardstock. Now, I chose this kind of, it's kind of a parchment feel, but it is 12 by 12 cardstock, because I thought, you know what, this is one that it's not going to show. I'm not going to decorate it. It's the side that's to the wall, and I probably won't miss it. So I chose a piece of cardstock that I wouldn't use much. So I'm just going to show you from the back what I've done. So what I did is I took the calendar sheet, and then I mounted across from it, I put the month. So just like a normal calendar, December, and then here will be the month. And I did that all the way through. There's December, which is probably partly off the calendar, November, October. Again, the October page there's nothing Halloween here, so I'll be able to do just my normal decorating, just like I always would. September, notice they use more yellow, like Golden Delicious apples instead of the red. That's kind of a unique touch. September, August, July. Now, each of these are adhered with HEG back to back. So I was very careful when I was adhering them, making sure that I got the right sides up together, because otherwise it won't flip correctly. July, June. I apologize if some of this is off the camera, because it takes up a lot of space because it's a big calendar. April, and this one I kind of ripped, but I'll be able to repair that when I come to that page. oops, February, skip March. March and February. And then what I did is I have a Bind It All, and Bind It All, it won't go as wide as I needed it to for this page. So my mother-in-law has a ring binder because they've published some books for my father-in-law. And so I sent it over to them and had them punch the holes and put their binder in. And it's the perfect size. It's probably an 11-inch binder, and they put that on. So now let me show you today's project. I'm going to just come off camera here because I want to show you the bottom part of it first. This is the calendar part. Now this is where I took those stamps. This is the Close to My Heart. This is that denim color. And those stamps, and I stamped the dates on. And then this is where the Close to My Heart little balloon came. And the reason I put that is today, December 31st, is my husband's birthday. And so I put that balloon, and I used that lighter cornflower, that Indian cornflower, or whatever it was called, balloon there. And you can kind of see the darker blue coming through. And then I just took a black pen and I drew the little streamers hanging off the balloon because there really wasn't room to stamp it anyway. If it had been up here, I probably would have stamped it and let it hang off, but it wasn't. And then I just put my husband's name down in the bottom. Then up here on the top, I stamped, this is where that K. Andrew design stamp with the ruby came in, and I stamped a heart on the first because that was our anniversary. And then this is some of the cut aparts from the designer page for January. Remember I said this is the title here. I put that down below, and then I just kind of stuck those in. Now there's not a lot of dimension to these because it is going to be a working calendar. I didn't want a lot of bulk in it, so I just adhered them down and straight down with the with my normal ATG, and I just kind of put them in, and it just coordinates so beautifully. So you can just put them on, and it really didn't take that much time. And then this is today's page, and this is the page that I'm featuring over at 3 Girl Jam today. And I use all sorts of stuff on this page, and I remember some things that I forgot to tell you that I used that I'll point out as we get there. So this is the some of the strips, and I cut them apart. This one I made a little banner out of. This is that die cuts with a view matte stack, and I edged around the edges with that darker blue. And then underneath that, and I forgot to tell you about this paper as well, I made a mat out of some Fancy Pants paper, and that's from the My Family stack. And it was a good color match with the embellishments. But I wanted it to kind of stand out. Then I took some of the border, this is one of the border strips, and I kind of tucked it underneath. And then this is the January strip, and I put it on here blank because at the end of the month I'll go through and I'm going to write out some of the highlights of the month. You know, another thing I could do is put other family birthdays on there that's not my immediate family, you know, siblings and stuff. Only this page wouldn't be big enough for some of the months, so I'll probably just do it more for our family highlights for the month. The reason this doesn't have a picture in it yet is because the highlight for January will probably be my husband's birthday photos, and so I'll put one of my favorite photos from his birthday here, even though we're celebrating his birthday on the 1st, but I'll put that here. So this is the ribbon is the dimension here, but this little tag said let it snow, and I added, and boy has it ever. It's not so much there's a lot of snow, although there is quite a bit. It's just that it's so cold that it stays around. We have had so much snow and it just doesn't go away. So it seems like there's a lot of snow because it's just not melting. So when a new snow comes, it just kind of piles on top. And then more of those, I just kind of tucked some of the ephemera from that pack behind, and I cut it all apart. And then from Prima, I had these Say It in Crystals bling. And on this particular one, at the end of it, it had some pearls, which was perfect. So then I went to my Want to Scrap pearls, and I added the pearls up here. And then and then here's more of the 3 Girl Jam ice blue ribbon that I just made a ruffle from the back side on. So really the only dimension is on this tag and then the ribbon itself, well, the pearls and stuff. And this page will have more dimension, but I'm going to have to be careful because otherwise it's going to be too thick and it's not going to lay flat. So I'm going to have to be very careful with my dimension because this is widest binding I had. This one's also popped up on a little bit of foam because I wanted it to sit above the picture. And this end is not adhered. This end's on foam dots and this end's not adhered so that I can slide my picture behind. Then after I was all done and had everything mounted and where I wanted it, that's where my Perfect Pearl spray came in, and I shook it up really well and I just lightly spritzed it. Now I know that the camera's not picking it up. It might pick it up a little bit in the middle of the mat, which is going to be covered up anyway. And I don't know if I'm going to do the spritzing, at least not with this particular spray. I'm not sure if I'll do that again because it kind of curled up some of the edges, which is fine. That's what sprays sometimes do. Like this one, you can see is curling up a little bit. But you really don't, you have to be looking pretty close to pick up that shimmer. So unless I put some color, I probably won't use just the plain shimmer spray on any of the other pages. So there is my first month, January, all done and ready to go. Now here comes the question. Obviously I have 11 more months to go, February through December. My question to you is, would you rather see at the beginning or sometime during the month each month's page, or would you rather me take a couple of weeks and just do day by day, do another page? Right now, obviously, I'm not ahead of myself, and the first part of February is going to be really busy because I'm going to be having a special Valentine's feature, which I'll tell you about in a different video. And so I wouldn't be able to start showing those until mid to late February. So let me know your opinion. Your options are either do them all at once, a video at a time, once a day for like for 11 straight days or 12 straight days by the time we do the cover, or do each month as it comes. I'm interested to know your opinion, and I'll decide based on your comments what you would like me to do. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.